I always told my kids, you always gotta failure to prepare to fail. You're not prepared to go out and attack life and attack whatever business venture that you're trying to get involved with, man. You're going to put yourself in a very dire situation. And that's the main thing that I want to get across to business owners.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Workergenix Mastermind Podcast. Today we have a special guest, Reggie Richardson with Preferred Funding Group. Reggie Richardson helps small businesses secure the capital they need to grow. After 30 years of teaching and mentoring student athletes, Reggie made the decision to shift gears and pursue a new career. Starting out in sales, he discovered a passion for supporting entrepreneurs. And today he takes pride in helping his clients achieve their business goals and bring their visions to life through securing funding. Reggie, it's great to have you on the podcast. You've helped several friends of mine with their funding needs, and I'm excited for you to share with our audience just what they can do with funding in their business. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, good morning, Harley, and thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. I love to get my word out. I love helping people, trying to help their dreams come true. So that's why I go by the moniker Sandman. That's who I am. I help to make dreams come true. And I definitely appreciate you giving me this opportunity to reach others out there. Yeah, as you mentioned, man, originally I started off in education when I first got out of college. And I did that for over 30 years, molding young minds, trying to get them on the right track to understand that, there are a lot of ways and a lot of opportunities for them to be successful. And it's not always monetary. Sometimes it's just getting themselves out of the situation that they've been put in as children and that they need to understand. It's not, it's a learned behavior when it comes down to putting yourself in a position where you're not going to be able to get out and thrive, make decisions for yourself. So I always try to, as an administrator, as an educator, allow them to make their own mistakes, but then also learn from them. One of the things that I found out since I've been doing this is that a lot of those young kids grew up to become business owners and they're making the same mistakes, because they're not planning things out. I always told my kids, you always gotta failure to prepare to fail. You're not prepared to go out and attack life and attack whatever business venture that you're trying to get involved with, man. You're going to put yourself in a very dire situation. And that's the main thing that I want to get across to business owners. When it comes down to funding, in order to make a business grow, you need money. You have to. And there are a lot of ways to get money into your hand, but you have to be smart and diligent that you do your research about these ways, because some of them are going to put you in a position that's not going to make it successful for you at all. All right. So just make sure, don't come in and get the money first. Money should be the last thing that you're looking at. First thing you should be looking at is a business plan, knowing exactly what you're going to be spending that money on. Because you know what, man, I can say, hey, right now, I want to open up a burger joint. Right now, I love making burgers. I think I'm the greatest at making burgers. Everybody loves them. Everybody raves about it. Okay, so I might say, you know what, I'm going to go over here to Chase. I'm going to get myself a nice little $100,000 loan, give me a nice little spot, and then start serving burgers to the community. Well, guess what, man? There's a lot of things behind that 100,000 because you still got to acquire a brick and mortar. You still got to go out and see, or you got to figure out what's going to be your cost when it comes down to employees. You got to figure out what's going to be your overhead cost. What kind of equipment are you going to buy? All those things, that's a variety of money that's a variety of things that you have to attack prior to coming and getting money. So you know exactly what you need. Now, the key thing about going to get a loan, you have to know what type of loan that you're going to get. What's going to put you in a position to succeed. Okay. And there are so many loans out there. There's term loans, there's business lines of credit, SBA loans, equipment financing, invoice. There are so many things that you need to get involved with or need to understand prior to getting into a loan program. And then, what I do term loans. I do unsecured term loans. Okay. And my program is very simple to get qualified for. What I'm looking for the A-paper client. I'm looking for somebody that's going to have a 680 or higher credit score. I'm looking for somebody that's going to make a moderate income of $50,000 or more. If they fall in that boat, I'm able to get them up to $300,000. Now, there's other caveats that come into place, like you need to make sure that your debt to income is going to be low enough in order to secure that. All right. Also, we have credit cards, a little bit different criteria for that. Looking for a 700 credit score. Everything will be based on stated income. So I don't need tax returns for that. So, but that can get you some business credit cards, personal credit cards that you'll be able to use in order for that rainy day. If you just need to have something in your back pocket just in case you want to go out and buy some new equipment, to be able to have that ability to do that is definitely a lifesaver for a lot of business owners. But, and then you also want to take into consideration that, you don't want to over leverage yourself. So the debt to income and the utilization of your current cars, you need to make sure that those are going to be in place in order to maximize the amount of money that you're going to get when it comes down to a term loan.
Maybe step back a little bit here and educate our audience a little bit about those different loans. So you mentioned there's different types of loans and that you work with term loans. Can you kind of define what a term loan looks like?
Okay, so a term loan is going to give you the ability to go in and get a mass amount of money just based on strictly like your credit scores or your tax returns. Okay, in your tax returns. All right, they're going to be depending on what type of term loan that you get. You can go and you can try to get a SBA loan, which is going to be a little bit different than what I have to offer. Okay, SBA loans, they're going to take collateral. I don't ask for collateral with mine. Okay, with a term loan, you're investing in a specific business areas or ongoing working capital needs that you have. If you go to a bank, they're going to make you stick with that. As far as with what I can offer you with my unsecured loans is that I have no restrictions on what you can use the money for. If you go to a lender and they have a term loan out there, they're going to have stipulations to where you have to use it for A, B, and C. Whether you need to use it for X, Y, and Z every now and then, they're going to tell you that you're not able to do that. I can give you that ability to use it for whatever you want. Now, business lines of credit, they're a little bit different. They're going to get you up to like 1 million, somewhere around there. Most of them top out at about 250,000, but you get up to 5 years on that. All right. And the interest rate's going to be, anywhere from 10% to 99%. So it's crazy that you have that ability to be able to do that. But the reason is because when you're using like business lines of credit and things like that, that's just going to be your revolving capital that you'll be able to use whenever you need it. Okay. SBA loans, you got the 7A, and then you also have, I believe it's the 504 7A loan. That's going to be for businesses that are looking to acquire another business. If they're looking to expand, if they're looking at the 504, it's a little bit different when it comes down to that, as opposed to being able to expand with it. You're going to use a 504. It's going to be ideal for people who wants to purchase equipment. And if they're looking for a real estate or make upgrades to existing property, that's when you're going to look at a 504. Now, each loan program is going to have its own specialties, and each loan program is going to fit every client differently. So some people might not have the time to wait for an SBA loan because SBAs, they can be a little bit lengthy when it comes down to getting one. It can be anywhere from 30 days up to 120 days. You never know, depending on what your case looks like. Okay. So, but all these programs that I'm mentioning are valuable. Every last one. Okay. So I'm not just trying to throw shade or anything on any program out there because I think that mine is the best. It all depends on each individual, what they're looking for. You might have some people that are looking for equipment financing. You might have a construction company out there that has a lot of front loaders and big trucks, that are worth quite a bit of money, so they might be able to leverage their equipment in order to get a loan too. So, as I said before, there's so many different programs out there, when it comes down to invoice financing. If you have a lot of invoices that are not being paid or that are going to get paid in the future, and you need to go out and you need to collect, up to $20,000, $30,000, you might be able to use your invoices in order to do that. If you're looking to buy a home, or you're looking to buy a home that you want to rent out, or you're looking to buy a building or whatever. You got commercial real estate. So there's so many varieties, man, depending on what you're looking for to put yourself in a good position to succeed. So I hope that answered your question. There's so many different caveats when it comes down to these loans. You can talk about them for 3 hours, and I know that we only have 20 minutes.
Right. So I appreciate you explaining the differences there. And it sounds like, the product that you have is on the far end of the flexibility. It gives people the most flexibility with what they can do with the funds. You also have
Mm-hmm.
some of the fastest turnaround times too. Can you talk a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about like what your typical turnaround time is, what people's like typical repayment, timeline on that term looks like, and then would like to discuss, what are some common things people come to you with when they need the funding? Like, what does like an example situation look like that people can kind of keep their eyes and ears out, or, in their personal situation and be thinking of like, oh yeah, that's can resonate with me. That's something I've been thinking about doing in the new year here. I should get in touch with Reggie.
Okay, perfect. So when it comes down to my turnaround time, all right, it normally takes anywhere for a personal term loan 7 to 12 business days. Okay, in order to get cash in
Wow,
hand.
that's fast.
All right. And then when you're looking at the credit cards, because they have to be mailed out to them, it takes them about 3 weeks to get out to them. Okay. 3 to 4 weeks, because it has to be mailed and then they have to activate it, which isn't that hard. But, it does take a little bit of time. All right. We're going to be at the mercy of the United States Postal Service, and how quickly it gets there. Now, when it comes down to the terms, my terms, depending on what you're looking at, all right, personal term loan is going to be 5 to 7 years. All right. Now, do we have other terms available? We do have 3-year terms. We do have 10-year terms, but our sweet spot is going to be anywhere between 5 to 7 years. Now, the interest rates are going to be 8 to 18%. Now, people might look at that and say, oh man, that's kind of high. Well, it is because you don't have anything attached to it. Okay. There is no collateral.
Right.
All right. There are no restrictions on what you can use the money for. There is no prepayment penalty. So I'm not going to hit you with balloon payments or anything like that, like you would get if you're a fix and flipper from a hard money lender. All right. That's not something I'm going to hit you with. All right. This is your money. You use it at your leisure. Okay. And the most important thing is that I'm never going to ask you for come up with any money out of your pocket, your Uncle Sam tax money. Okay. Now, the fee will be assessed on the back end of the loan. All right. But you can actually use that money that was lent to you in order to pay that fee, because I don't know if everybody knows this. Loan money is not taxed. All right. If you're getting a loan, the government's not going to be able to tax that, as opposed to you taking the money out of your own pocket. That's already been smacked by Uncle Sam. He's done got his cut already. Okay, and that's 30 to 35% sometimes, depending on what you're looking at there. Okay, but with our money, it's not taxed. Now, the interest will be taxed, and the interest is typically going to be 8 to 18%. All right. But it will be, my sweet spot is anywhere 9 to 14, 15%, somewhere around there. So, if you're coming in and you're looking for a personal term loan that I can offer you, okay, you have to understand that those interest rates are based on where your credit score is. All right. It's not something that I can arbitrarily just take and say, you know what? I really don't like Harley. I'm going to hit him with a 19% interest rate. That's not something that I have the ability to do. We work with our lenders and we go out and we'll search for, 15, 20 different lenders doing soft pulls on them, trying to find the best offers that we have or that we can find available for the client. Okay. Now, some of the things that, when you're looking at the credit cards, as I said, you need to be a 700 credit score in order to qualify. All right. But you don't need any kind of income or anything like that. It's based on your stated income. Now, the best thing about the credit cards is that they will be interest free for the first 6 to 12 months. All right. So something that you'll be, oh, yeah. And this is a good position for a lot of startup companies who are trying to establish some kind of business credit. They can use the credit cards in order to do so. It's easy to transfer from personal to business credit cards. All you have to do is have your EIN number and your articles of incorporation ready, and then you'll be able to utilize that as a business card, which will report to your business credit as opposed to your personal credit, even though you sign on as a personal guarantor. Okay. The interest rates will be determined at the end of that 6 to 12 month promo. You'll be able to talk with the credit card companies that you're working with. If you have that good behavior, you might be able to negotiate a better interest rate for you. For yourself. Now, the people that really take advantage of what I have to offer are going to be those startups. It's going to be small businesses who are trying to expand, but they really don't have the opportunity through a traditional lender. Okay. I work with a lot of the marginalized communities. I'm talking about people who can't get any kind of loan from a traditional lender because of the fact that, you know, it's a cannabis company. It's some kind of adult entertainment. It might even be a construction company, or they're looking to finance equipment. They're very, very sensitive about that, and even when you're going into equipment financing, you might have to have enough weight in the game or enough skin in the game to where they will actually assist you with it. Because I know I have a couple of people that I work with right now who help finance or fund or give out loans to equipment, and they're looking for $1 million to start. Right? You have to have $1 million worth of equipment in order to get that loan, just to get qualified for it. Not too many people have that. So my programs are going to be idea to get them to that level, all right, to put them on that track. Okay. So you always want to start off small. You don't want to start off big, because that's when you start putting your feet into hot water. Okay. And you're putting yourself in a bad position because you really don't have the experience yet in order to take advantage of what that has to offer. I work very well with fix and flippers. All right. Sometimes fix and flippers, they get a little disgruntled when they're working with hard money lenders because they put a lot of things on them, a lot of restrictions or certain expectations that they're looking for in order to, because they have all the skin in the game as far as when it comes down to the finances. All right. And the fix and flipper doesn't. All right. He has to adhere to what the hard money lender is telling him to do sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes,
Yeah.
As far as me, I don't care about any of that. You can use the money for whatever you want. If you want to go out and you want to enhance your business and expand and make it bigger and, make it more efficient, then you can use the money for that. If you want to use it to go out and buy a luxury vehicle, and it's not going to be very good for your business, obviously. But if you want to do it, you can do that. But yeah, the people that I'm looking for are going to be those startups, are going to be those small businesses, are going to be the fix and flippers, going to be the marginalized community, the type of people, man, who are truly looking for a leg up and not a handout. They're willing to do it on their own and, try to make things happen on their own. And they want some assistance just with the funding in order to get them there. Then those are the people that I want to talk to.
Awesome. Well, Reggie, I really appreciate you sharing all your wisdom about financing and tips for people when they're thinking about starting a new business and what needs to happen, and explaining, where you fit in there and how you can help them get their financing that they need for this new year. So thank you again for being on the podcast today.
All right. I appreciate you, Harley. And I hope that you and I might be able to get some more things done in 2025 here. I'm looking forward to it. And man, I like to get out there and travel with you. I don't know. I might have to bring my wife kicking and screaming, but I think she'll enjoy it once we get out there, get to see some new sights.
Absolutely. We'll keep you guys informed with all our posts online. But Reggie, if someone's looking to get the funding they need this year, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
The best way to get in contact with me is to go through our website at preferredfundinggroup.com. All right. You can click on my picture there and it'll take you directly to me, or you can go to Reggie at preferredfundinggroup.com. And I'm even going to give my phone number out because I trust that your listeners aren't going to be any kind of shady characters out there, but you can give me a call at.
Awesome. Thank you, Reggie. And we'll include those links and notes in the show details. So if people are listening to this or watching it online, they can click the link and get in touch with you directly, and make sure you let Reggie know that you heard about him through the podcast here.
All right, Harley, I truly appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
All right. Thank you, sir.